Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our broadcast here in the Issues Room. Today is the 12th of March, 2024. Volcano Shelton here with you this evening, live from Monrovia, Liberia. It's a pleasure being here on this 227th broadcast. It's been about probably three productions now since we got to Liberia and had to get situated. Interestingly, um, we have not really gotten situated. But anyhow, we'd like to thank you for your patience and being there with us as usual. And so we've resumed broadcast tonight. And indeed, being on the grounds, it gives us firsthand uh, information and also, be able to see what is trending in the country for the most part. So as you can see, I'm not really comfortable tonight. But anyhow, based on where we are, um, as a podcast, as a social media platform, we wanted to continue to engage you, our viewers and our listeners. And you can imagine how late it is. It's about 11 p.m. here, a little past 11 actually. And great, the time zone changed on Sunday. Otherwise, I would have been up till midnight to start the show. So a lot of sacrifice is being put into what we do. And so we appreciate you as well for being there with us, especially those of us in the other side of the world where the time zone is not, friendly as when our show starts at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in Monrovia, rather in the US. But in Liberia, it's about 11 midnight. And as I said, had the time not changed, it would be midnight. So 11 p.m., put it that way, and then it would have been midnight. But anyhow, I say thank you so much for your patience. We transition here in Monrovia. In fact, in an hour, we have a national holiday to celebrate the Decoration Day. In America, we dubbed as Memorial Day. So people are gearing up tomorrow. Uh, in about an hour will be in Wednesday, and a lot of folks are looking forward to go into the cemeteries across the country to commemorate the loved ones. I'm in country because my mom passed about 5 years ago and have made it a tradition to come every time this time of the year to pay my homage to her, my grandmother, my aunts, my relatives, my uncles, and there's a lot of folks that have gone on. And so we're in country to ensure that we commemorate the loss and just show our respect to take care of them. So again, thank you so much. And then on Friday will be another major national holiday, which is the 15th of March, and that will be President Joseph Jenkins Roberts, our first president, who was elected, and I believe in 1847 as our independent, year. He became the first president. So his birthday is also celebrated as a national holiday, and that will be on March 15, which is, I believe, Friday. So we have back-to-back holidays in this month, and a lot of folks looking forward to celebrating also that day. So just a overview of what March has in store here in Monrovia. Again, say welcome. Please share the link, invite others to join us here. Irman and Sumo, thank you for joining us from Minnesota. Crystal, I know you missed the boys, but my man Alphonso is sitting pretty with his coffee. I don't know what that is. My man, I'm up here lit,
I
you know,
know, man. I feel for you.
in the mother's land.
I feel for you. It's great to be in the mother's land, but I feel for you that you have to be up this late. But
Yeah.
I guess that is the dedication and commitment to service. So I appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you for joining. Man, listen, I got here and the heat is on. I'm already tanning, natural tan. But again, as I said, please share the link. Thomas Awaji, where are you tonight? Sting Bunge, Godwin Weado, River says Pro, Flumbo Livingstone, Victor, all you guys. Come on, let's just talk about Liberia where we are right now. Uh, 2 months in the new government. Not much is going on. Of course, the government is still in its formative state. Some appointments were made, and a lot of those folks who were confirmed are now in their offices and working. What I heard in the grapevine is that they're prepping to pay 2 months of salary. So that's what I know so far, and so we're looking forward to seeing folks getting paid. I know that people have taken seat. Mo Ali at the Water and Sewer, uh, Sekou Dougle at the Port Authority, Amin Modad at the Ministry of Commerce, Cyril Yanti Beslo at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I know of what's the guy's name? You gotta help me. It's on
Oh,
my list. Geraldine McPierre.
yeah.
Pia has also been
At Ministry of Information,
formation. And what's
we
his
have
name?
the
Wilmot Pay.
Wilma
Uh,
Pay at
Lin-
Lands
Lin-
and Mines. Yeah.
yeah, Link Mines and Energy. So,
Jordan, George Johnson at Defense Acting. What's her name? Doctor, forget my friend's name.
yeah, Jasso
Uh,
and
no, well, Joshua's education, but I was
Luis
Doctor
Poto.
Boto, Louis Mamplek Boto at Health. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so folks are taking seat. Even the young man, Twe, the Secretary General, who is now
yeah,
at the LPRC.
LPRC. Yeah.
So people are taking seat. But interestingly, what I've heard and what I've learned is that they met dilapidated institutions with nothing. Those guys pillage those institutions, they stripped it of all of the major technical resources that will run the institution. And you've seen what they call the LDEA, and you
Hmm.
saw what AB Kraman said,
Yep.
and you saw how that place looks so deplorable.
Yep.
So that's
Yep.
the state of condition that a lot of people walking into. You hear people say, "I walk into hot mess." The place is in hot mess. Most of the ministries are. I mean, they were just buildings. They were not functional. And so this government has inherited a lot. And surprisingly, we are saying he's going to be an advocate for societal justice, and he will be discussing the issues.
I think what the new administration needs to do is to begin to move quickly to undertake comprehensive audits of all of those institutions. But for now, with the Minister of Information in place, I think they need to begin to tell the Liberian people exactly what they met on the ground. They have tons of information already. I mean, when they went through the transition period, they gathered some information. And now people have gone to the appointees have gone to those ministries and seen what's actual on the ground. I think what the Minister of Information should do is maybe every week get somebody from one of those other ministries or agencies of government to hold a press conference, and just highlight the state of those institutions, the financial state of those institutions, the physical state of those institutions, the material state, meaning the resources they had, like vehicles and computers and tape records and all of those things, and document them and tell the Liberian people, because Liberian people have very high expectations of this government and what they expect of this government. And if you don't tell them where you're beginning from, um, they will not know. And if they don't know, they won't. You just telling them say manage your expectations will not be sufficient. You have to actually tell them and give them information in terms of the state in which you met the institutions. That will also help the government to be able to control the narrative. As it is right now, if people don't know that there was that LPRC, for instance, was dilapidated, or that the NPA is horrible. 300 people on payroll were not doing any job. LEC has no resources. The people will expect you to deliver those services. So if you tell them, let's wait for 1 month, 2 months, they won't understand why you're asking them to wait for one month, 2 months. So you have to basically tell people the state. And I think the state of government as you made it. And I think the government's information institutions, such as the Ministry of Information, has a very important role to play in that regard. I know the press secretary was doing it by herself alone for a period of time, but now with the Minister of Information in place, I think they need to expose all of those things. I'm happy, for instance, that they did a tour of the executive mansion and showed the state of the physical state of the executive mansion because millions of dollars were spent um, to rehabilitate the executive mansion. The Weir administration did a fabulous, flamboyant dedication of the mansion as if they had, you know, renovated the entire place to its pre-war status or even beyond that. But that that walkthrough with journalists really showed that it was all, as Liberian people say, like a day. It was just a flow show. So again, we need to this administration needs it has an obligation to the Liberian people to tell us where they met the government, where they met the country, so that we know where and make demands as well in terms of what they should do to move the country forward. So definitely, that's really important. And of course, President Boakai ran on the promise of audits and accountability and fighting corruption. I know he has taken a few steps by asking the for an audit of the central bank and of two other institutions, but I think he needs to go beyond that as
And interestingly, before I bring in Moses, uh, there's no secret about where the country is. There's no secret. You can see it when you first entered the country. And as you go around, you can see people are being a little, hopeful. That's the word, hopeful. Because there are some who say, oh, the people who thought they were going to go another 6 years,
well.
they're the ones who creating that anxiety to make it appear as though the Liberian people are anxious. No, the Liberian people are managing their expectations because they know. And when I say the Liberian people, I'm talking about the people who know better. They
Mm-hmm.
know what type of country was inherited, and they're not here thinking that manna going to fall from heaven or someone going to quickly play a miracle that will change the status quo. Things were messed up, and there's no secret about it. And fixing this country will take a long time. I was in company with someone who is a major player in the government, previous, and they're still holding on to the position yet. And they said the last government took us 100 years back, and it's this is serious stuff. But some of us, based on our role, we did what we had to do to to serve. But in the scheme of everything, we have been pushed 100 years back. And if you look at the development agenda of the CDC, what have they done really? Two parks, the road that is still fixing, and I would will discuss the ERW roundabout tonight, and the ERW, I mean the Ravels International Highway Project. It's one of those things on the agenda as we go along. But just wanted to say that they can't point to a lot of things. What they can point to is how damaging to left the country. Moses Sandy, welcome. Good to see you, my brother. It's been a good 3 productions that we have not been able to assemble. I've been trying to get my things together. My man Morovia, I went and bought the mic stand because I thought I had one here. Only for the mic stand I set up last night, thinking we're gonna have a good show. Good morning, the stand just broke by itself. When I pick up the it just trips. Like crackers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's. I went back to the man, and the man said, "Didn't remember me." He said, "Didn't remember me." I said, "Yeah." He said,
But you don't care, is he?
"Oh, the man gave me receipt and Naresh bread. Oh,
Oh.
he told me there's only what $30 is in the box." So I said,
Yeah.
$30. I kind of assemble it. I said, "Okay, I like this one." So I just walked out of the store. I came my setup. put the thing on, and then the morning the mic lean down here. I look, I saw the other piece, Chris. I mean, just like crackers.
Yeah,
It's
I
their
know.
crack.
It's brittle. Put it that way.
Yeah, but
But yeah,
and you
yeah.
went back and the guy said he couldn't remember you.
Man said they know me no
The
more.
guy, the guy can't remember other people that go in the store. That
I
is
mean,
that he did.
Yeah, but
Element,
I
hold
mean,
on, Element so know his product.
yeah, he's also know your product.
Uh, so I just found a little piece of tape to patch the other side here, and then I'll
Yeah.
see what I can do tomorrow. So, but anyway, gentlemen, let's. This is Liberia. You cannot get
Exactly.
redress. You cannot get
Exactly.
redress.
Hmm.
Okay, you cannot get redress. All
Wow.
you can get, say for instance, you bought a sauce in anything, you went back, and the guy said, "Oh, some left over." He will ask you whether you need something else, but he ain't giving you money back. It shouldn't spoil. He will tell you something left the store, you didn't try, you know, and so no redress. Real says Pro, my man, welcome. I'm in the Miami. So what's this here, man? But we're discussing about, you know, uh, the situation on the grounds, and I was just sharing with Alfonso that the story is that the government is trying to raise money to pay 2 months' salary, because my man, you can't bring people and then they're working for free again. The other people who work all the way to the end of we are last leg didn't get paid, so this government now has inherited the the mess made, and seditions are still in denial. And to be frank,
Of
they're
course.
still in denial. So hopefully some people will get paid. Because there are two major holidays here, my man. People part will not ball for Decoration Day and for JJ Rao birthday. Then what they gotta go wait for Easter? So that what happening right now, trying to raise money to pay salaries. I'm not sure at what level and what are all sectors, but it's a lot. It's a lot of people that
Well,
need to be.
uh, is that's a sad way of beginning the show. Um, it is so heartbreaking, but that's what we have to deal with. And before I even go further, let me say hi to the many viewers out there. It is good to be with you guys this evening. And let me start off with what you said. Volcano, we have said consistently that the Boaka administration is challenged because the administration inherited a government or a country that was shattered by Mr. Weah and his gang of criminals. I say gang of criminals with no remorse because those people literally stole from Liberia. The story is the same everywhere. Everywhere you go, nothing is working. I had the privilege of listening to the Director General Designate at LBS. The gentleman told the Senate that LBS is in shambles, everything down. LBS, according to him, had a workforce of 260 person. During the we administration, the workforce dropped to less than 150. All the outstation radio stations, are more like non-existent. Um, Employees have not been paid for months, and it's like trying to rebuild from the ground. No money. You go to the water and sewer. The guy made the same case. Mo Ali, outstanding debt, everything broken apart. You go to the Ministry of Information. Minister Pia and his people have only one functional vehicle, and that's the vehicle that our own friend and brother Legend who Rennie was using. The only vehicle. How do you make a Moses Senior a deputy minister and the man doesn't even have a bicycle to go to work? How am I going to function? Every position you occupy comes with prestige. Why would you name people to positions when they can't even function in those capacities? That's how we are ran Liberia. Everywhere, Volcano. You can better speak to it. You there, you see it. So I think I'm not doing public relations for the Boaka administration, but I think Liberians will have to be a little bit considerate because they inherited a broken system. That's how I'd like to say.
All right, but so and tonight we bits and piecing or whatever you want to put it. And
Mhm.
honestly, one of the things that caught my eye before we go into this whole war and economic crime discussion here tonight, which is one of the uh, topics here for discussion. Um, I had the privilege of going to the ERW intersection, or what we call junction, and I looked at the project being done. And one of the things that caught my eye is the roundabout that they've created, and the way they made one side extremely wide and the other like a bottleneck. Uh,
Is that
coming,
the highway which is being constructed?
yeah, but I'm saying
Okay,
at the junction,
okay, yeah.
ERW junction, where coming from the red light intersects with the ERW highway coming from ERW, and the Monrovia side coming from SKD Boulevard, and the AB Talbot Road where they all meet. They created a roundabout, or are creating a roundabout. But what caught my eye is that the lanes coming from Congo Town, SD Copop, coming into ERW Junction, they made three lanes and a fourth lane going toward ERW. They did the same for ERW coming from the sports complex toward the roundabout. There's a fire lane that goes toward red light, and then two lanes come around the roundabout to go in the direction of where they want to go. Then from AB Tauber Road, we only have two lanes coming from AB Tauber Road. Um, and it's interesting that the two that's coming from AB Tauber Road, one is for going and one is for coming. However, coming into the roundabout, you only have one going to the roundabout and one coming toward or leaving to go to Townway. And so on that side next to the what you call it LRA, they only have two lanes to feed all of the vehicles coming from red light, coming from ERWA, and coming from AB Talbot in the roundabout to go to
That's
town.
just cool, man.
But they fed the town volume coming from Congo Town into ERWA Junction. They fed it with three lanes and a far left lane, a far right lane going toward ERWA. So I walked around the place. I did some video shoot, but I didn't bring my clip that I usually use to show that. But I will post it momentarily. And interestingly, they did not even know that they made this kind of major mistake. And so one of the guys who worked there said, "Oh, yeah, you're right. We didn't even think about it. This side wide, this side small. Oh, but then the car then coming from this side would be choked in this area." So the way the roundabout, they created a very massive roundabout. They could have
Uh-huh.
shrunk it so that they have more space, but they made it so big. It's still with red dye. They haven't even done anything with it. So then I said, "But who's the chief engineer?" They showed me one Chinese man. I walked to the man and make him speak English. I said, "But then what the essence of me talking to this
No
guy?"
need to waste my time, my man.
So then along the fence of the LRA front, they're building a sidewalk. So I said to the guy, I said, "Why can't they just make this lane, this side three, and instead of the sidewalk, make it three lane, and then go on the platform near the fence of the LRA and put a sidewalk there?" I said, because then they said, "Oh, that government building you can't." I said, "But government cannot break the law. Government's supposed to know better. If they're marking on private,
government, government enforcing the law can't abide by the very law.
yeah, I said, so they got to do that." But that was what I observed, and I'm telling you, honestly, when this roundabout is done, Moses and Alfonso and our viewers here tonight, we've never had a roundabout in Liberia. With the proliferation of bad drivers in the country, pimping and keke with no regards for traffic regulations, it would be a complete nonsense. I don't know how, where the police going to stand to regulate that, whether they're going to put a functioning traffic light that will help. Otherwise, it's just going to be another, how you build a bathroom, you put a commode there, but the man still leave the commode and go put it in the bush.
Yeah.
That's the kind of that's what it would look like, because the way they got this roundabout done,
Mm.
for me, is inefficient on one side, and it will
Yeah.
create a serious problem. And if they don't put the right kind of mechanisms in place that will control it, people will just be all into each other, and there will be a lot of accident. Let me hear from
Yeah.
the folks.
Because if everybody coming this way and then you have to squeeze the other side,
And the
can
way
you imagine not gonna speed everybody coming with?
but
You
the
know?
way the roundabout should work is that, there's a degree of yield.
Yeah. Everybody
You
going in circle, you
Yeah,
know.
you just don't come in a roundabout. There
Yeah.
must be a degree of yield. It's almost like a stop sign, but it's not totally stopping. But
No, you
there's a
just
way that you got to respect the
hmm
traffic that is in the roundabout.
hmm
Any vehicle in the roundabout must come out of the roundabout before you engage the roundabout.
of
But
course.
I mean, the people don't have no patience here. I mean, you riding in, minding your business, you in your right lane. The motorbike guy will cut you off on the left. He will cut you off on the right. Anywhere, any place, anytime. They have not changed. In fact, the new little road that they built from ERW Junction now to the red light, that's two lanes.
Hmm.
The people are literally driving, they leave that lane and drive in the opposite lane, because why? It's like the interstate, right?
Mm.
If you miss the exit, there's nothing you can do until you go
Yeah,
to the
you just
next,
have to keep moving. Yeah.
until you get to the next exit, right? So the
Right.
way to go to ERW highway to the red light,
Hmm.
the first turning point is at LBS when you come from ELW
Hmm.
junction. The
Yeah.
first turning point, the only chance you got to leave that way and be able to come go out and come back in is LBS. The
Hmm.
next is GSA junction. The next point is the Pinsville Town Hall. After that, that long stretch all the way to Dupo Road, because they don't want. So, say for instance, if the guy is stopping here, he
Yeah.
chooses not to ride his lane, go to Dubo Road, turn around to come to his house, which is on the opposite side. He
Hmm.
gets the very lane that is opposite him and
And
ride
drive towards you guys.
coming traffic. This is
Oh,
and nobody seems to care. This is what happened in Moses. And
that's
I for me, I
cool.
deliberately go directly to them, and they say, one time I stop a woman, I say, "What are you doing?" Oh, I'm going right to my house. I'm able to go way
Yeah.
over.
So what?
I said, but that's what they build the road. This helped to decongest the traffic so that you can go there and turn, so that
And
we don't
come
have
back.
this kind of stuff, you know. So let's hear from Alfonso. Let him weigh into
Wow.
but quite frankly, I mean, all this one more development we say we're doing,
Mhm.
if we don't have the civilization in place for us to follow the regulations and the rules, it's just going to be another mess.
I think the key thing here, um, it's a terrible situation, but I believe the key thing here is enforcement. Where you have human beings and you don't have law enforcement, you will have chaos because people will just take law into their own hands. Nobody wants to go through. There's no society in this world that where everybody simply abides by the law because the law is written. If there was a society that did that, then we would not have law enforcement. We would not have courts. We would not have police. We would not have any of those things. But human being by nature, if you don't have law enforcement, will break the law. And I think that's the fundamental problem that we have in our country. It's not the lack of laws. It's not a lack of roads, even though we lack those things as well. But with what we have, if we're enforcing the rule of law, we will do better. So, take for example that person who, as you just described, the lady who was coming. left her lane, trying to jump in the opposite lane just because she didn't want to go
No,
to
no,
the
no.
roundabout.
She's not trying to jump. She's
So
driving literally in the opposite lane
and
because she
she
doesn't want the turning point
so
and
go to the turning point and turn and come back.
come to her, yeah, and come to her
Yeah,
destination. So
thank
she
you.
chose to drive
Yeah,
in the opposite lane and drive into incoming traffic.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
like going into a one way. Put it that way.
Yeah,
A one,
exactly.
which is very risky.
Going into a one way just so she can go over there. If she gets a $200 ticket and and 3 points on her license, her insurance goes up and stuff, the next time she will go to that roundabout. That's how they enforce the laws here. That's how they enforce the laws in other places. They give the punisher. So the punishment becomes a deterrent. It deters you from doing it. It deters other people from doing it. Now, that is not to say that it will create a perfect society, but it will eliminate some of those things. And that is the key, and that's one of the things that we are lacking. And that needs to happen. How does the police even enforce when they don't even have vehicles to go around the place? When
No.
they don't have motorbikes to go around and to catch people doing that? That's something else. So now we need to provide the resources. I was having a conversation with somebody yesterday, and there's this whole criticism about fire service now going to places to put fire off when there's fire. Well, they don't even have trucks. They don't have even have the equipment. How they going to go to places to put fire off? And then that brings us to the question: the WIA administration has boasted repeatedly that they generated the highest revenue in the history of the country. That leaves me to wonder if there's one car ministry of information, if fire service doesn't have vehicles, police don't have motorbikes and vehicles, then where was this money going? No water, safe drinking water in the country, no
No.
electricity in Monrovia, no, I mean, Zogo in the street, no health care, clinics are empty. So where was all of this money going to? And you were boasting that somehow you raised revenue from this place to that place. Where was it? Were they lying just to look good? Or
Of
were
course.
they just taking the money and putting it in their pockets as a king? And that's a question that needs to be answered by the Boakai administration through audits, but it must go beyond audit. We've had so many audits in that country. When the $16 billion got missing, we had an audit. When the 20 million was squandered in the streets, literally in the streets of Monrovia, we had an audit. The audits were given to President Weah. They were published in the newspapers. Nothing happened. Nobody was prosecuted. Nobody was held accountable. President Barker should be reminded of these things. He must be aggressive from the beginning and go after people and let the chips fall where they may. People should be prosecuted. They should go to prison. And, you know, I know he has appointed a committee to claw back resources, which is extremely great, very laudable. I hope they have the power to do that and without any interference, and they'll do it across the board. The country needs it. Our international partners are demanding it as a condition for supporting us, for giving us resources. And put international partners aside. Just for our own good and the good of our country, we need to put a stop to this nonsense. People can't come to government and just deprive poor citizens and enrich themselves overnight and build graves with electricity and soldier mining grave while children don't have food to eat. That's nonsense.
And actually, I mean, they're looking at these declarations being made by this government to try to retrieve some of the stolen wealth, its resources, and they call it witch hunting. You
Hmm.
see people literally, thinking that nothing gonna come out of it. They're being defiant, and this it saddens me because even as we move into this discussion now regarding the War and Economic Crimes Court and the involvement of the international community, Chris Johnson is being very defiant. And I'm wondering what this guy is depending on. Is he depending on going back into the bush? And the last time I checked, Prince Johnson doesn't want mission ends to eat him. I don't think he want to go lay down in gutter and say he a combatant. I don't think he want to put talisman on him and call himself a rebel and Zegwe and what do you call it, the Zege they were using.
He gets
I
a
don't
guy around. Yeah.
I think he dreams about his bank account every night to the point. I think that's why he's making big mouth. But to say he threatens the Liberian people peace and stability, he and his generals or whoever he calls them, I don't think those guys want to go lay in the gutter. So where are we now? There is a mixed feeling about this war and economic crimes court. There are folks who are saying, let's just let it be. Let enjoy this peace. But I don't see this as peace. What is peace? Peace is when there is a semblance of rule of law. Peace is when people can have access to the basic needs. People can have good health in place, healthcare rather in place, education, electricity, pipe-borne water. Those are the things that make people live in peace. But when you have just a few people and then the rest of the communities are in shambles and no one is following the rule of law, what is peace when people literally take the dump piles and the trash and dirt and throw it up in the street? In the papers today, they show the Palm Grove Cemetery. Well, how will you go and identify your family grave when it's already covered in debris, in dirt? The place that people just cleaned for the inauguration the other day. Go back and see Palm Grove Cemetery. Go back and see street corners and stuff. So that's not peace. So for people to say, oh, we want peace and this is the peace, you call this peace? This living condition? So how do you define peace, Moses? From your perspective, I'm just telling you.
I mean,
Me, peace means that I have
you
everything in place.
you summarized it already. And when you have to go to bed and not worrying that someone is standing over your shoulder, that's peace. When you have rule of law, like you said, I'm driving, I get to the stop sign, I stop. I'm not thinking that somebody is going to come and run into my vehicle, you know, because the person is driving 100 miles in a residential area. When you have the ability to work in harmony and earn a living wage, that's peace. When you can coexist with other people, regardless of where you come from, who you are, regardless of your sexual orientation, that nobody is going to pick at you, going to harass you because you don't think the way he or she does. That's peace. And these are the problems that we have in Liberia. You work, you have to literally beg your employer, or you have to get in the street before you get peace. I mean,
Yeah.
before you get
Like
paid.
you're protesting. Yeah,
Yeah, you
protesting.
got to protest.
Just for pay. Then you
And
say
you say,
they
oh, we have peace in the country. Where is the peace when people are literally, jumping in the street every day, to demand their rights? Or students at the University of Liberia have to set a roadblock. Oh, you have to pay our teachers. Are you talking about peace? Where is the peace? There's
and,
no
and
peace.
quickly to add before Alfonso comes in, when I did work for the NGO sector, one of the things during the war and all of the state council government and rebel factions and all of that, peace is not the absence of bullets or gun sounds.
Absolutely.
It's not the absence of that.
Mhm.
Not because people are not shooting around here. Oh, but when you walk in 7 o'clock in the evening and three Zogo men come with knife and juke you and say, "Give me your wallet and take your phone from you."
Yeah,
Is
there's
that
somebody
peace?
saying live in peace.
Yeah, that peace when you have to barricade. Sorry, Alfonso, your mic is muted. Is that peace when you have to barricade your entire house with
Yeah,
iron bars and
absolutely.
iron door, and then
Mhm.
in the case of a fire outbreak, everybody dies in there
Right.
because
Yeah.
you,
You
you
see, you
can't
have,
get your key to open the lock and then and unlock the iron because it's already molten hot. Is that peace?
Of
That's
course
not
not.
peace. Alfonso,
I'll text my number.
Okay.
you,
Yeah, guys. No, 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 no. You guys, I mean, I have very little to add to this conversation about your description of peace. That's exactly what peace is. I think it was Martin Luther King. I mean, they have other people who said, but I think it was Martin Luther King who said, true peace is more than the absence of tension. It's more than the absence of war. It's more than the absence of shooting guns. True peace is the presence of justice. Because what is justice? Justice is when the resources of the country are equitably distributed. And what are the resources of the country? Safe drinking water, the money, the whatever, but also security. When the police, when the people are protecting the people collectively and equally, regardless of your status in society. That's what the resources of the country are. And the greatest human rights abuse that can happen in this country, I mean in this world, is when you deny people of the basic necessities of life.
Absolutely.
When they don't have food, when they don't have safe drinking water, when they don't have medication, or when they get sick, they can't get medicines. That's the worst abuse. You can walk to somebody and slap them. They might walk away because they will go and get food tomorrow and eat or whatever. But if you deny them food, if you deny them safe drinking water, that's worse than slapping them. Those are the resources that make life happen. And the foundation of human rights, the foundation of human being is, you got you gotta eat. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You can't have life if you don't have food. You can't have life if you don't have safe drinking water. You don't have life if armed robbers are killing you or the government itself is killing you. That's deprivation of life, which is the biggest human rights abuse that can happen in the world. So definitely, peace is not just that, oh, people not shooting guns, so we have peace. We're not shooting guns, but we're hungry. We don't have food to eat. You're depriving us. We can't speak up. We can't speak our minds. You're grabbing us, you're putting us in jail. You're beating us when we open our mouths to say something. How can that be peace? That is not peace. So when I hear people saying, "Oh, when you bring war chronicle, then peace," or that we have people saying we kept the peace for 6 years, what peace did you keep?
interesting, very
Yeah, it's
interesting.
interesting. What peace
We
did you
kept
keep?
the peace, our hard fought peace.
Yeah. Mhm.
Liberian people kept the peace. The people of Liberia
Kept.
kept the
Mhm.
peace. It's not a government that kept, with the amount of suffering the people were undergoing in that country, they could have revolted. But they said, you know what? We'll hold our hands. We'll wait for 6 years. When the time comes, then we'll move these people and take them from on our shoulders. That's what happened. Quickly on the Prince Johnson and the other warlord
Well,
situation.
Let, let him
Because,
let him
Alfonso,
go.
huh?
please.
Let him, Moses.
Okay, no, something I just wanted to say before
Okay,
you talk
okay,
about the Brinton in there.
okay.
I hear you guys say the Liberian people kept the peace. You know what the Liberian people did from my own perspective? The Liberian people suppress their feelings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You often hear that they say the hungry man is an angry man, right?
Mm-hmm.
Many nights our people, go to bed without regular meal. No hope for the future. And they say, well, it is what it is. They were powerless. So they just let it go. They suppressed their feelings. They were now happy.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead, Alfonso. I'm sorry.
No, no, you're right. They suppress their feelings so as not to disrupt the little
Yeah.
quiet that
Hmm.
existed. And they also knew that there was light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
When it says yeah, finish, we would change this thing and we would make it there. So that was, but I mean, Volcano mentioned Prince Johnson there making noise, and it's not just Prince Johnson. I know I saw a press conference with, I don't know if it was Lord or Model leader, uh,
Thomas Nimle.
That, yeah,
Yaya,
Johnson. Yeah, yeah. He
no,
was on
Yaya Nimnan,
Spoon
Thomas
TV.
Yaya Nimnan, and talking
Hmm.
about all of these things. What those people doing? They're not threatening the country. I don't see us threatening the country because you are 100% correct. They don't have the ability, they don't have the capacity to wage war no more. They don't have it. It's like you grab a chicken, you killing the chicken can't kill you, the chicken can't for you, but the chicken scratching you. It's on this, it's the last, that's a saying, I forget the saying. It's the last scratch or last kick of a dying horse. Yeah, I think that's the saying. That's why they're doing. They can't disturb the peace. They can't stop the train from rolling. If the government wants to do it with the support of the international community, there's no way the Prince Johnson and the Thomas, they're just crying. They're crying publicly. That's why they're doing. They can't stop it because, and I wrote something way back and I was discussing with somebody. Oh, well, it will undermine the peace. What we should do now is just invest in, development. Let payroll. Let do this. Let do that. The other one said, oh, it will bring conflict and whatever. So I said, okay. But Sierra Leone had it immediately after the war. Did they go back to war because they had war crime court? No. Rwanda did it immediately after the war. Did they go back to war? No. Liberia will be doing it 20 years, if not more, removed from our civil war. When we have had three, four democratic elections and solidified the country already. And you made the point, Volcano. The people don't they can't go by in the bush to go for a war no more. They ain't even get the support to go and do that. That's the first thing. The reason why um Taylor forces, when the rebels came, the routed Taylor forces is exactly you made that point for Canada. Those people came to Monrovia, they were drinking cold water now. They had electricity in their houses. They had cars. They had wives and children. Melvin Sobani then didn't want to get her and leave the wife lying down children and go in the war front. When you go inside, the wife will say, where you going? The children here. Oh, when something happened to you, what would do? Those things, those guys couldn't fight the way they were fighting when they were rebel coming. So the rebels now had an edge over them. That's exactly the case. Those guys can't fight. They don't want to fight. They're just making big money. They're just talking. But
Interestingly,
yeah,
Alfonso,
yeah,
what concerns me is that this is where you know the true
yeah,
color
yeah.
of a professed religious man. Because if Prince Johnson is so religious, if he's so much of an evangelist, if he's so much of a pastor or reverend, whatever he wants to call himself, then he will be speaking words of peace.
Yep.
He will not even be threatening. You get what I'm saying? He would be like
Exactly.
he
Exactly.
would be, he would show contrition.
Hmm.
He would be mellow,
Yes.
and he would be looking forward to hoping that this can be resolved in other ways. But
Yes.
this guy is not. All of these guys just showing up with a facade that is the one of the easiest way to put yourself behind God's work and pretend to be a man of God, and you stand there and you create a pulpit. I can start preaching tomorrow. I can, I can make a pulpit right now and start preaching on Broad Street tomorrow. I can go to that roundabout I'm talking about here, David Johnson, and start preaching. And I'll preach better than Prince Johnson because I'm educated and and I have some degree of understanding of the Bible, and I can do that. So these guys just continue to pretend with God because of his patience. The George Weah. Is that the only way now you can show that you have a relationship with God by building a church and then a mountain and standing on the pulpit with no formal education? That's why what's his name? Paul Kagame say, no religious man, you call yourself religious man, if you don't have a seminary degree or a religious degree, you go to church
You
with
Can't
not
preach.
operate no church.
every Tom, Dick, and Harry opening church. But Prince Johnson is so much of a religious man. Why is he challenging? Why is he being quiet? And why is he threatening? Because the last time I checked, the man of God is meek. The man of God is calm. The man of God is peaceful. That's what I know. So, Prince, so all that thing you're talking, you're not ready to fight no war. You can't go back and lay down in the mission ends. I ready to put ziggy on you because then I would tell me say you were never a man of God because you can't go start putting ziggy on you again and say, oh, I protected myself. You say you trust God now, you're supposed to trust Him. But
Yeah.
that's the point I'm making. So, gentlemen, this war crime court or war and economic crime court, there are two schools of thoughts. There are people who saying that there's no need for it. There's no need for it. And there are another group of people saying there's a need for it. What are your opinion on this matter? I know Moses, you did a podcast
Yeah.
previously, but
Yeah.
just summarize your opinion, and if you think it's
Yeah.
necessary. Because at this point, I think that the train is in motion, and
Yeah.
with Boykott's declaration and his invitation now to those folks, they're coming. And I seen people writing, I'm coming, you're coming quick. I seen people writing in other chat rooms and stuff, and the money the people coming to take to go trap people, they can take it to build road, they can take, but the one that the people stole to wage war and kill innocent people, and then they come back and they position themselves in some of the most critical positions in the country and have continued to be kingmaker in our governance, space, and it's a way that they're protecting themselves. Then there's a need for somebody who is bigger. You got your small brother and you got your big brother, right? When one guy beat on the small brother, what happened? And now the big brother can come fight. The
Mhm.
Liberian people, the big brother than America. So when America say we're ready to fight for y'all, you just tell us say you want to. Let the people say you want to now. So
Yeah.
that's my own thought. Go ahead.
Well, what I would say, the need for the establishment of war and economic crimes court in Liberia is imperative. Liberia needs a war and economic crimes court for the purpose of accountability. Those people who reportedly destroy the lives of 250,000 people that displaced Liberians regionally and other parts of the world, that displaced Liberians internally as well. They need to be held accountable. No society in the world will thrives in the absence of the rule of law. People need to explain the role, the roles they play. Volcano, let me tell you something here. The people who are walking around here talking about, oh, we sustain the peace. They did not sustain the peace. You are in Monrovia, go to the cemeteries. Who do you see? A good portion of those people, are they not ex combatants? Are they not victims, child soldiers that were used as what? Uh, 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 that they were used as machines for the destruction of human lives. Don't you think the war laws that put those people in the street, don't you think those people need to come and account for abuse of human lives? Don't you think so? People say, oh, well, uh, we need peace. But how do you get peace when you don't hold people accountable for what they have done to your country or what they did to your country over the years? Do you know the number of families that are still struggling with war traumas as a result of what we saw happen in Liberia for the past 14 years? Do you know what it means to see your mom being beheaded in your presence? Your entire family wiped out? And the man who wiped out your family, the man is a senator today. The man is a representative today. The man is a minister today. The man is a director today. And this is the same man who continues to control your life. And every time you see this man, what do you think happens? It reenacts what you did to your parents years ago. Do you know what it means? Do you know the number of widows we have in our country? Do you know that? Do you know the number of widowers we have in our country today?
So
Look at
I'm not.
the child soldiers, kids who were one, two. The parent lives were taken. They became homeless. People
So
exploited them.
yeah. So let me go to something here quick while
Yeah,
you go to your high Zoom.
people
Um.
exploited those people, and somebody said, "Oh well, we don't need work." Right? Of course we do.
So I want to go
People,
down. Listen,
yeah,
I want to go down the list quick because I don't know if you guys have seen this, but someone sent it to me.
yeah, sure,
And
put it on.
I don't know. No, I can't put it on. Like I said, I don't have the
Oh,
gadget.
okay.
But
Well, go ahead.
I'm gonna run through it quick. There's a lot of memes here that said the leaders of warring factions. I'm not sure if you guys seen it yet.
Mhm.
Uh, but accordingly, Yeke did not make the list because the time he fought, he was considered a child soldier.
Yeah, he was a
Uh,
juvenile. Yeah.
yeah. So, but the list talks about Charles Taylor being the leader of the NPFL, Prince Johnson, the INPFL, Roosevelt Johnson, who is deceased, Yulimo J, and Alhaji
George
Kroma.
Mole.
Alhaji
George
Kroma.
Mole. Hmm.
But I'm going through the list.
Oh,
Uh,
yes,
He's
sorry. Go
going
ahead.
down the okay.
Alhaji Kroma, who is also
Deceased.
deceased, Yulimo K. Now they had Yulimo and Yulimo J, Yulimo and Yulimo K because they broke away
Hmm.
and then they became
Hmm.
J and K. George Bole of the LPC, Liberia Peace Council, Thomas Yaya Nimle of Model, Segu de Mate Conan of Lord, Francois Massaquet. He also deceased of the LDF, the Luftwaffe Defense Force. And then you have some of the notorious folks like Prince Y. Johnson, who is the Yellow, Moses Blah, William Sumo, Menseyon Seyon, John Beto, Paulson Gate, alias General Satan, Augustine Zor.
Generosito.
Can you imagine General Satan? Uh, Augustine Zor, Joseph Bayon, Mateus Pele, General Lawrence Guanu, Superintendent Jonathan Barney, Abel Sumer, General Sampson, Christopher Vambo, known as General Mosquito, Colonel Joloka, Prince Nangbe, Pat Rand Kennedy, Klebai, Abel S. Bala, General Nale, McDonald Tappet, Anthony Penny, Alfred Payne, General Green, Sewalaka, um, and these are some of the violent crimes:
Hmm.
killing, extortion, massacre, destruction of property, forced recruitment, assaults, adoption, torture, forced labor, rape,
Brave.
looting.
Hmm.
You know, then the list continue. Let me go down to this second portion. You have Augustine Nangbe, also known as General Power. You have Michael's High Grade, J. Apollo Swain, Sandro Johnson, Joseph Mazan as Zigzag Mazan, Kai Fale, Vamuya, Amos Barkley, Larry Murphy, Mike Tyson, General Ofori Dia, also known as Iron Jacket, George Wapo,
Oh,
uh,
Iron Jacket.
CO, the state carry CO, they have CO 00, Peter Don, CO Koto, Tommy B. Wangba, Peter Peewee, also known as General Katali, General Erickson Badio, Benjamin Yetan, Roland Duo, Felix Washington, Senegalese, Moses Tarle, also known as CEO Crab, CEO David, Siafa Nomo, Seku Donso, or Saku Donso, Adolphus Dolo, who of course was a senator,
Yes, I know. Yeah.
Alvin Sobani,
Mhm.
Margot Menlo, Mark Guan, Moses Thomas, General. You remember Moses Thomas, right? Moses
Hmm.
Thomas,
Yeah.
who had the issue with in Philadelphia.
Hmm.
Okay, and then Major Jeroboam Waheb Sa, Major Harris Johnson, Zico Na Dalia, Lieutenant Andrew Gay, and Arthur Yenimbo. So we have about 98 people on this list so far, with all the varying, crimes I talked about, genocide, massacre, and just so much, you know. So you strike the nail, but let me just quickly remind folks as we continue in the next 3 minutes. Quickly, let me just say to the folks here, you are in the issues room, 227th broadcast. The main studio is coming from Monroeville, Liberia. Moses is in Delaware. Alfonso is in Pennsylvania. um, Tonight we looking at a few things. First, we talked about, the government is working to pay salaries. Uh, Folks have not been paid, I believe, since the elections. Since we had lost Zimmerman here on your own. Um, and we're also looking at the road construction, the ELW Junction roundabout, and now we're discussing whether the war and economic crime code is necessary. Um, but again, if you just join us, we ask you to please share the word, share the link, invite others to join us here tonight. We have not broadcasted since 3 productions because of the transition of me coming to Liberia. I'm here for Decoration Day, and I'm sure a lot of folks are gearing up. It's about uh, midnight now, and so we'll be heading into the morning hours to go to the different cemeteries to commemorate our loved ones. So for those of you who are on the other side, meaning in the diaspora, who couldn't be here, we represent you, and we pray for your relatives and loved ones in perpetual rest for them until uh, Christ return. Thank you for joining us, Alfonso Moses Volcano, here tonight on this 227 broadcast. So, gentlemen, yes, let's come back to the conversation. So, all these people, right, I just named, and I'm sure there will be a lot more to come up.
Yeah.
Alfonso, since Moses was in
Yeah.
Yeah.
queue,
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
yeah,
So actually, the TRC recommended, if my memory serves me right, TRC recommended 150 people for prosecution. And the way it did it is that it said the people who bear the greatest responsibility for crimes. So it recommended 150 people. Although international human rights and humanitarian law, if it were implemented, we will actually go above the 150 people that the TRC recommended for prosecution, because the law says violation of laws of war, international humanitarian law, is not pardonable, so it cannot be pardoned. So what the TRC did was that, for example, they said that those who went before the TRC and spoke the truth and asked for forgiveness, and I know my brother David Zulu is asking here, so what happened to Jerome Bodneke? So people like Jerome, but the TRC felt that people like Jerome Bodneke went before them, testified truthfully, and asked for forgiveness, and therefore they were given pardon. They were forgiven, so they were not recommended. That's what happened.
so that's why he's now on this list.
That's why he's not on the list, and there are some other people who are
Yeah,
not on the
you're
list
right. Because I
because of
didn't
that.
see it.
Because yep, sorry, go ahead.
I'm not saying I didn't see, what's his name, Bly, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that's why he's not on the list, because the TRC act, the act creating the TRC gave them the authority to grant amnesties to people who spoke truthfully. Um, so people who did not speak truthfully, or people who simply were responsible for some of the greatest abuses, were not given amnesty. I mean, after a few days something just got in my head, and I started watching some of the TRC testimonies. I watched what's his name, Joe Wiley. I watched Prince Johnson and a number of other people. The guys would simply just boasting. So I shot the man and then he died. Then I go down, open the grenade, I throw it. I mean, they were boasting about the abuses that they committed, about the people that they killed, and they were justifying why they killed those people. When they went before the TRC, they didn't say yes, what I did was wrong. I thought I was defending people, but I think we committed some excesses. I'm sorry. I ask for forgiveness. That's why they call it truth and reconciliation. If they had done that, maybe some of them would have gotten amnesties. I had the opportunity to be in South Africa to do a 2 week stint with the South African TRC. It's a complete contrast from what I saw there and what was happening in Liberia. What was happening in Liberia was complete theater. They went there to boast about their crimes and justify what they did. And part of it, and then the Liberian people turned around and started rewarding them on top of it. Of course, the whole system of reward started with the international community, the people who were making our peace. They created a peace system whereby they thought that by rewarding the warlords and the war criminals would end the war. In fact, they extended the war. Because what happened was when they saw that, when Ulimo whatever came and saw that, oh, people Taylor them were fighting, and by that they got jobs, they got power, and the guy said, oh, those went and started their own rebel group. And
That's
they
what
got
was,
job and got power.
yeah, that's what
Yeah,
happened here.
yeah.
Everybody started to bring fashion, and as a result,
That's right.
hey, okay, let me just buttress your position there. Bringing
Yeah.
fashion is like you doing it for the sake of money, because when they
Yeah.
go to these conferences,
Hmm.
ministries and lucrative area
Yeah.
where a portion to certain the big guns.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they start to fight for the country's wealth, just like they're doing now, even
Yeah.
in these elections.
Yeah.
They, they,
So.
they, they gave the political alliance
Hmm.
to the winning political party with the hope that it will
Hmm.
get the deputy minister, the minister, and then when he get
Hmm.
it, then he doesn't go in, he start getting fed. He said, but Baga, the man who just brought him into power, he even get all the job that he's going to get all yet. He already
Yeah.
crying.
Yeah.
Crying.
So
So the
the
youth in the country
person, yeah,
need.
and that continued. The person with the biggest fashion got the most jobs in the government. So people were fighting to get the biggest fashion. They were fighting to capture the biggest territory so they can cut the timber, the logs, and sell them, bring logging company and Digo and Dimer and make money and also get government jobs.
and
And
and, and,
that,
and
yeah,
fuel the war machinery.
yeah, and fuel the war machinery and build huge bank accounts. So the problem of impunity has to be dealt with. That chain has to be broken. That's the only way we'll move forward. It has even seeped so deeply into our electoral politics that it's not even funny. People go and steal money. Legislators put money in the budget for themselves to run their own campaigns. So Moses Sandy, who means well, for Canada, who means well, who goes on the ground to win, cannot compete with them in terms of the money that is stored and they're spending. Like later we're giving us a $30,000 every quarter to say development funds, $60,000 to say agriculture money. They were putting money in agencies' budgets. So once the budget is passed, they go there and get the money to run campaign. So they can buy rice for people, they can buy cows, they can buy zinc for people. You will meanwhile you don't have that money. So stealing has become a way by which people earn, get elected into government positions. Just the same way killing people yesterday was a means, it's the same thing. That culture of impunity has to be broken. If not, what we have now is not a democracy. We think we have a democracy. People are buying their jobs, they're buying their way. There's this one big old guy in Logan Town who buys rights for the people and they vote for him. But Logan Town still mosquito still the biggest mosquito den. He's doing nothing for them.
Abu Kamara.
Yeah, but he just get a few bigger around and then
Hey,
they vote
so
for him.
they said big guy no straight
Yeah,
Abu
that
Kamara.
ain't. But the people who are making the argument that let's take the money and build roads. Let's take the money and do that. I wonder they will make the same argument to say let's take the money instead of funding police forces to look for criminals, instead of funding prosecutors to go to court and prosecute people. Let's not spend the money on fighting crime and abuse. And armed robbery, let's just take the money and build roads. I wanted to make that argument when it comes to that. And the fact of the matter is, no country can move forward, no
Oh,
country
yeah.
can develop until there's the rule of law and accountability. And that's why I just made the point earlier that these criminal things, if you don't tackle them, they seep into every facet of society. They have seeped into our political space. So much so now that people stealing money to get elected all the times and remain in power. If we don't arrest it there, it might seep into other facets of our society. So yes, accountability is extremely important. Accountability for war crimes, accountability for economic crimes, accountability for corruption. Those are critical for our country to move forward. It's not it's no it's not either or. We can do both. Like the American people say, we can walk and chew gum at the same time. And very quickly, Sierra Leone didn't pay for its war crime code entirely from its resources. Rwanda didn't do that. When Ahmed Tijan Kabar wrote the UN and said we need a system set of war crime code, the war collected money and assisted in that effort. Same thing with Rwanda. The Rwanda War Crimes Tribunal was based in Arusha, Tanzania. Those countries, the communities help, the international people help. So it's not like Liberia is going to take all of its money and put it into that. We will get help. But even if we were to take our money and put it in that, it would be worth it. It would be worth it. Moses, you said it. The children walking around, the people went and killed the people parents. The children walking around and get food to eat. But the people who killed yesterday are the masters over the same very children
Mhm.
today. They are the people who are deciding whether the children should go to school or not go to school, whether teachers should be paid or not be paid, whether we should fight armed robber or not fight armed robber. The same people, Prince Johnson, and turning around and threatening us today, and we're supposed to sit down and let it go. I said
Mhm.
no to
Yeah. And I would say that, look, German, Prince Johnson is living in the past. The power he had, that power no longer exists. He's not a law unto himself. It will take no time. If the Liberian government decides that this is the way we want to go, General Johnson, you are powerless. All you can do is to cooperate. Mr. Bole, that authority you had when you were warlord no longer exists. Let me just go off tangent a little bit. I was in the chat room and there was discussion regarding the role of the media in the whole process. The media is divided, and so one of the senior journalists in Liberia, complained after the PEO took a position on this matter. The PEO took a position saying that it supports the establishment of a war and economic crimes code in Liberia. Aja has also done the same thing. And this senior journalist said, well, journalists should not be taking position because when doing that, it compromises neutrality, it compromises objectivity, it brings in biasness. And I disagree because if the PEL takes a position, that doesn't reflect the opinion of heads of media institution. If I'm an editor, I'm answerable to the editorial policy of my media institution. So they're not going to tell me, so, well, this is how we want your news to be. This is how we want your radio programs to be. My bosses would detect that. So after that, it went back and forth, and somebody trying to push an agenda, to promote or to side with her husband. But it doesn't go like that. As journalists, we have to call a spade a spade. People have the right to take position and let people decide. If the union said this is what it supports, then so be it. Whether you're part of the union or not, or there's a crisis in the union, it doesn't mean that because the union has taken a position on this issue, it means that all journalists will tread our path. No, that's the position of the leadership, which reflects, the opinion of those in hierarchy. But it doesn't mean that editorial policies will have to align with that. I just want to put this in so that we can know that the mixed reaction to the establishment of war crimes code in Liberia is not only coming from ordinary people, it's coming from even people that we consider opinion leaders because of their own, personal connections with individuals who destroy the lives of Liberians. And I'm one of those who strongly believe that people should be held accountable. People need to account. I don't know what you think, Volcano.
Oh, I mean, I've said it. I've said it time immemorial. That for our country to move forward, some of these guys need to not be in the political space. Some of them should not be making decisions for the country. Some of them should not be paying for play or pay for play, whatever you want to call it. Some of them shouldn't be having church congregation around here and playing around with people, spirituality and calling themselves preacher man. And then when small thing happen, he say, "My man, your tribe will spoil it. Or this piece here will bring war." So those threats don't matter right now.
No, yeah.
Word is in a social media AI age. You can't do anything, Prince Johnson.
I
Zero.
mean,
You can't.
those days are over, Volcano, my brother.
All you need to do succumb to the process and let the process play out. And that is for any other general or whoever participated. You're not in jaw too much, now, Prince, my man. Come on now. It didn't happen since 1990. You're not in jaw. If the people won't carry you small, so they can squeeze
Look at that, man.
man, the man ain't jaw. How about the other, listen? How about the other people who this guy took away, their family and their life,
Yes,
who have not enjoyed,
nothing.
who has to see? You think? Let me be honest with you. You think because some people we talked about, and you talked about the suppression of your feelings, right?
Yes,
You don't think that some people in this country suppress their feelings all because they think they're so vulnerable to react to the way these guys
of
did it,
course.
and they have been praying for this process to
Yeah,
kick in?
there are
Do you
people who go to
realize
church every day, Volcano, praying.
people say what they want to say about me? I mean, at the end of the day, I'm me. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf didn't do it when she had all the support in the world, but she knew why she didn't do it. George Weah comes to power. He promised it. George Weah promised, but he turned a blind eye to it. Joe Boaga promised it. It's part of his campaign message. We have interviews with President Boaga. So now the man want to live up to his promise. Then he say, "Oh, make sure you live up to his promise." You know what they call campaign message? Campaign message is the reason why people become presidents or win elections.
Okay.
Promises to make. And so if Boaga is a man of character and he wants to live up to the promise, then we have to accept it. And those of you who thought I was just flagajay talk, then you own your own. For this country to move forward, gentlemen, something has to be done. And what has to be done is to remove these people who brought this country to its knee, who disgraced this country, who have put us way behind. That we're the respect for Liberia is it's not there. We shouldn't pretend here. Look at how the airlines treat us on any given Sunday. Will Liberian be stranded in Brussels airport waiting terminal T, treated like cargoes and wait for 5.5 to 6 hours, and they're charging you one bottle of water for $6? One bottle of water. So man said, if I say I'll just drink from the bathroom,
Wow.
will they carry Liberians to Casablanca and keep them in the airport for 14 hours if we're respected?
No,
If we
no,
matter?
no.
I'm just
But
saying this. All
before
of
you
this,
even let me just add to what you're saying. Volcano, we didn't even before the war. Plane used to come, Pan Am and other people,
Yes, straight
straight
to
from
Liberia.
Montebello to here. We didn't even go through Casablanca or all of those places. So no, we're not going to be treated like that. I just want to add to that. You can go ahead.
And I was coming to that. I was coming to
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
When I was in school, I have friends who their family would leave Liberia on Friday. Pan American Airlines, Friday. They will arrive Saturday morning. They will do all the shopping. And by Sunday, they board a flight and they're back in Liberia. And those
Mm-hmm.
guys will come to school Monday morning in brand new sneakers and stuff. They just came from the States.
Yeah.
That's how it used to be. Countries around Africa, citizens of countries around Africa, rather, will come to Liberia to acquire a visa through through the American embassy in Liberia. People will leave from the sub region and come to Monrovia to buy uniforms and school supplies and those things. These guys came from nowhere in 1980, crippled this country, took this country down the drain. Then they started fighting among themselves. Then they turned it on each other. Then they killed innocent people. They brought our country 1990 to its heel, disgraced us on the international scene, made us look like we were animals killing each other with no reason. Tango calling Sunshine, he's there bragging, drinking Budweiser. The reality has hit the fan and he doesn't want to take ownership for it. He cannot clean the videos all around the world. And then every day he making noise that he was fighting for Nima and this and that. So the truth there is we need the War and Economic Crimes Court. It must happen. If
Yeah.
everyone were working for the salaries, then we won't be super millionaires here overnight. If everyone in this country were literally working for their salaries, we wouldn't be millionaires here. But look at all the overnight millionaires you have around here. And what do? They run to the legislature as a sanctuary.
Of course.
Look at the composition of your legislature. Would this country go anywhere with the composition of your legislature?
It's not.
When you have the very people who destroy the country, and then you say that, oh,
Yeah, they
yeah,
want in power
yeah,
controlling
want
you.
war again. You might bring the war and economic crime code. You will see. You can't scare nobody. You can't scare nobody.
No, they can't scare nobody. It will happen, and they can't stop it, and they don't have the power to do so. So again, it's fear. The noise they're making is all fear, and it's expected. It should be expected. I mean, they know that when you're running behind chicken to go catch it, and or you catch the chicken crying, "Quack, quack, 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 quack," and they're scratching you, but the chicken know it's coming to die because it can't get out of here, and that Christmas day. So that's exactly the same thing that's happening with these guys. So their noise doesn't mean anything. I think, or shouldn't mean anything. I think President Barker should keep his eyes on the ball and do what's necessary, because that is the foundation that Liberia needs to move forward. If as long as you both have said it, as long as we have these people calling the shots and determining the direction of our country, we will not go forward. Look at even the Barker administration, what's going on now. Some of these people have power, are demanding jobs. We heard Prince Johnson preaching in his church and crying about jobs and how Barker is not something, demanding certain number of ministries and all of those things. What's really what's what brought Prince Johnson to prominence? What makes Prince Johnson a major political force in the country? It's because he fought war and killed people. It's not because he has a political ideology that he was able to convince people. It's not because he brought anything into this country. It's because he took our arms and he killed people, and
And let
he
me
was a
ask,
clear warlord. And so
you
people
struck,
elected him because he convinced the people that somehow he was defending them. Yeah, go ahead, okay.
but you struck a very salient point, and the
Yeah,
point here is there was no profound political ideology. And
no,
remember the space when Prince Johnson came to prominence after he came from exile. was the very kids that they had running around with Ziggy and Talisman all over them,
Mhm.
who were left in shambles, who
Yeah.
had no formal education, who
Mhm.
didn't know the history, prehistory of Liberia, who didn't know what Liberia looked like and to what they were in, and they saw this new wave of political, noise being made around here, and Prince used that because of their ignorance.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Look at the
Yeah.
population that vote for these people.
exactly.
You and I would never vote for Prince Johnson.
No.
You and
But
I would never vote for Nathaniel McGill. You and I would never vote for Bill Twirl.
no.
We should be voting for ourselves.
Yeah. But
But these young
uh,
people don't know better. And,
Yeah.
and, and they're blinding them, and they've blinded them rather by by what they've done to them and
Mm.
made them hopeless and helpless. And as a result, during the electoral season, they come and give them little handouts. And so
Handouts.
yeah, at the end of the day, they gratify that moment and say, but let me just give my vote to the man. Some I was here for the elections.
Mhm.
There were people who were still they didn't know what to do. They didn't know what to do with their votes. People who literally did not know who to vote for. Can you imagine that?
yeah,
Because they were so confused. 20 people
confused.
in the
Yeah.
race. Oh, but I gotta say the man, an old man, he's sick, he was soon die. Oh, and Joe, we had a young boy, he didn't vote. Oh, and Daniel Abbott, I mean Daniel Cassell, hey man, but he not
No.
died.
Yeah. Yeah.
All kinds of things. People did not know. I met people who were still confused about who to vote for. So that tells you the electorate, the level of intelligence when it comes to the ballot box.
Yeah. 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 So we, you know, yeah, I think as I was saying, President Barker needs to keep on his eyes on the prize on those twin issues. The twin issues of war crimes and of fighting corruption, which basically is the economic aspect of the because the economic aspect, people steal money. Like Brandon and you were them in the town there. I mean, they were pillaging the country, cutting logs, and digging diamonds. My understanding is that the cell phone company has this company that he and Taylor established, and then once Taylor went to court, he's a millionaire today. These people looted the country. There are millions of dollars in foreign banks sitting down there today that could be helping to build roads in Liberia. So that those people who are saying let's take the money and build roads, well, let's not just take the little money we have to feed children and send them to school and use it to build roads. Let's prosecute people and go after what they stole because they were warlords, what they stole because they were in political offices, as I said, from Topman time and even before, to Tauber time, to Dole time, to Taylor time. There are billions of dollars of Liberian money in foreign bank accounts. So definitely, I hope the asset recovery executive order 123 issued by President Blackheart will extend to that so that they can go and work with international partners to repatriate some of that money. And we'll have enough money to actually build roads and build schools and electrify our country and get safe drinking water for people. So those are significant things that must happen.
That's the other thing I want to add quickly before Moses comes in. We're about to wrap up the show. Prince Johnson is sleeping on an air conditioner tonight.
Yep.
Prince Johnson has electricity irrespective of whether LEC is on tonight. There are communities that are in darkness because the way the electricity works now, they portion it here, they give it for this number of time, and then they send it here. People sleep in the dark, then they bring it for maybe 8 hours in the day or 4 hours in the day, then they carry on this side. The priest doesn't have to worry whether current on. Oh, we'll put the generator on. Now tell him again, you gotta worry whether current. Y'all go put the generator on. Over Chima, go put the generator on. I just passed what the guy named house, your new speaker, Fonati Kofa. This man's White House at rehab. Go and see his White House with palm fern growing. Beautiful house. Right on. Opposite George, we are on the house on the other side. These people don't have to worry about anything that the ordinary people worry about. They don't. And that's the painful part. They're now creating the avenue for the country to forget about what happened to them. For the people, when I say the country, meaning the people in the country to forget about what happened to them. They're not creating the avenue. They're so selfish. They're so of Moses uses the word all the time. They're so greedy, greed. That
Greed is our biggest problem. Yeah.
I'll tell you something. For 23 years now since we've moved, or 20 years since we moved out of war, right?
Mhm.
And we have stable three transitions of government, and I say three because it's three. Ellen
Yeah.
twice, we are, and now we have President Boycott. If the money these people stole and was wrapping it under the arm, they were giving it back to the society so that the society can thrive, we wouldn't be talking war crime today. I swear to my mom, and I seen it in Liberian way. I swear to my mom. To my mom that are going to go clean her grave today. I swear to her. If these people, all the stealing they did, all the wealth they've amassed overnight and become millionaires, building private universities, eh? If they were putting our money back, that would share across the broader spectrum of society, providing constant electricity, industrializing the country, providing job opportunities because companies will come, providing pipe-borne water, opening up the economy, let everyone backs into the low small and share in and benefit. We'll be talking war crime code, but we're talking war crime code because they're squeezing the people, they kill from the people, they're stealing from the people, and yet they have done nothing to improve the people's lives. That is why we're talking war crime code today. And all
Yeah.
of this is coming up because the former ambassador he said it all. Most of our monies in the budget go to that stupid legislature. Most of our money go to that legislature, doing nothing for this country. And the very people who have done wrong to the country go and hide in there, take up refuge. It's a sanctuary for them. I don't know where they come from with that notion. Oh, nobody can arrest a sitting senator. Nobody can arrest a sitting representative. So when you brag of those kinds of amenities you have, then you buttressing your bad doings, and you don't care that you will ever improve things in the society.
Yeah.
That's my take on it.
Mhm.
I
But
agree.
that
And
is even
I,
a misreading of what the Constitution says. A certain senator can be arrested when you commit crime. You can be arrested.
if you
It
commit
is
any
They,
crime
they
against
don't. They don't
any crime
understand
that's
that.
considered
Yeah.
felonious, be arrested.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Volcano, I agree with you 100%. And Alfonso, I agree with the both of you guys. Look, like you said, Volcano, those guys are using the legislature as a sanctuary, you know, where they go seeking protection. Oh yeah, I'm here now. You know what dictators do, and that's what happening to our country. They steal from the country. They make our people poor. They make our people to look up to them. They give them handouts, and then they regulate them the machines. Do you think a Natana McGill, let me get personal, a Natana McGill in a developed society will be in the legislature? A Bill Twelve, will he be in the legislature? Albert, will he be in the legislature? Prince Johnson, will he be in the legislature? George Bulley, all the criminals, will they be in the legislature? Of course not. The three of us here will never vote for those people because first, they do not have the moral integrity and they have open records of what? Dishonesty. They engage in acts that have the tendency of retarding laborious progress. So the three of us here will not vote for them. But what do? They go to Looking Town where our poor sisters and brothers are living. They say, oh, you call the community people together. The people come, oh, yeah, you have something here, you pay your way $1,000. And they take your future for 6 years or 9 years. They give you a bag of rice because you are poor. Most Liberians on an annual basis cannot earn 200 US dollars. Do you know what it means when you give someone who in an entire year is unable to earn 200 US dollars and you give the man $200? Wait till that man will think. That's what they are doing to our people. They steal from them and use the resources of the country and act like they are doing them a favor. Why you think Maggie won Magibi? How you think Bill 12 won railroad says? Stolen wealth. You see why we say we need asset recovery? You see why we say we need war and economic crimes caught in that country? These people need to be held accountable. Like Alphonso said, they use stolen wealth to undermine the electoral process. Maggie Wayne, what they call what? Voter trucking. They go from one location to another, truck people. You a Volcano of Shelton, you want to be represented in Greenville, hypothetically. I mean, in Painesville, hypothetically. McGill goes to McGibby and truck people to Painesville. They come and vote against you and vote for his preferred candidate. Is that democracy? That's what these people do. They use stolen wealth to undermine democracy, the will of the people. These people need to be held accountable. So I don't understand when people who claim to be educated and they say, oh, well, we need a peaceful society and we don't need no war crime court and we don't need no a war economic crime court in this country. It's time to move forward. What are you talking about? Jeremy? What are you talking about?
So
Yes.
war crime court, to add to you, Moses, war crime court, breaking war crime court doesn't even mean that somehow these guys are guilty. If they believe they're not guilty of committing war crimes,
Let them
they
go to
should
court and make their
they
case.
shouldn't be crying. All we're saying is we establish a court, and what courts do is that you come before the court if you are indicted, and you try to exonerate yourself. So we are not saying yet Prince Johnson will just you already guilty will come and hold you or
Yeah.
whoever will you already guilty. We're saying we set up a war crimes court and you will have the opportunity to go before the court and make the argument that you are making now. That somehow you were justifying doing what you did because you were defending a certain group of people, then that's fine. Go and make it. If that's what the law says, then the law will set you free. But if that, I mean, first of all, international law doesn't encourage war, but international law understands, the international system understands that sometimes there will be war. That is why they made what we call the laws of war. The three Geneva Conventions and additional protocols and all of that. That's why they created it. If you must fight war, okay, we understand there will be war, but you must follow these rules. If you have to defend your people and therefore start a war to defend your people, okay, but you must follow these rules. A, don't recruit children into your fighting forces. Don't grab civilians and kill them. They have nothing to do with it. If you grab an enemy combatant, don't just summarily execute them. Hold them until the war is over or turn them to the international Red Cross. When you violate all of these things, then you say I will defend my people. You could have fought a war and defended your people without grabbing children and killing them, without recruiting children into your fighting forces, without killing people because they belong to a certain tribe because they're gay or whatever. How is that defense of your people though?
Yeah.
So The fact of the matter is, these guys use this whole system of, oh, the poor coming fighting us, they're killing our people, so we're killing them too, or whatever, to commit all kinds of crimes. They use it to get the people to support them because they are heroes of their different counties and sects and tribes. So you have people for warlords being elected to office all the time because they convince the poor, vulnerable people somehow we were fighting for y'all, and stuff like that. Meanwhile, they do nothing for the people, as you all have said. They do not. They wait for election time to go get people back a rights, but the people don't have electricity, don't have safe drinking water, children don't have good teachers, etc. Poverty is killing the people. I mean, let me just name a few poverty statistics here. More than 50% of Liberians live, and you were talking about most people make less than $200 a year. More than 50% of Liberians live below the poverty line, which is $1.90 a day.
Okay. So
One
you
dollar
just so
ninety
you
cents.
just do
They
the
live
math.
below. They live below that. 2.2 million Liberians are food insecure. They can't get
Yeah.
food to go. They're hungry. They don't even know how
Hungry.
to feed their children. There's no food security. 52.3% of the population in Liberia, which is 2,717,000, is multidimensionally poor, which means they're poor in several respects. No food, no housing, no access to health care, nothing.
Nothing.
Multidimensionally poor. And these people want us to believe that somehow they are redeemers and they came to redeem the people. They are millionaires, as Volcano said. They live on electricity, safe drinking water, and the people don't have nothing. And they still want us to believe that somehow they are saviors of the people. What sense does that make?
Yeah.
How is that even? Who believes in that? Who would get up and believe in that kind of thing? So these people have to be held accountable for the crimes they committed. And secondly, by holding them accountable, we take them off the backs of the Liberian people and start a brand new country built upon the rule of law and accountability and justice. And that's the only way the country will move forward.
Let me just reflect a little bit, and I'm sure a lot of folks here tonight have seen the video with Prince Johnson and the late Wata Allison.
Yeah.
This poor woman, he slapped this woman so annoyed that the woman was lying to him about the whereabouts of her husband, the late Grady Allison. The woman kept telling Prince, I was not part of this. I was sick. See the killing in this man. The devil took over him because he felt he had the power. And he reached across and slapped this woman. And the rest is history, accordingly. People who know the story with he and Tecumseh Roberts killed a man, claimed that the man was homosexual. He denied it. He said Avani. And everybody said at him. Then he asked for the man to come sing for him. And said, oh, but my man, you already finished killing the man.
Hmm.
I ain't saying it.
Yeah, I mean that's why it's in the public domain. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
So that the day now you spiritually redeemed,
Yeah.
but did you give those people the opportunity for themselves to be
To
redeemed?
be heard. Yeah.
So the point we're making here is, again, I repeat myself, if you go to Prince Johnson house right now and it's in the center of a community where there is no electricity, he has electricity.
Of course, man got 24
He has
7.
a
What are you talking
water
about?
tower that is producing hot and cold water for him to shower. Did he get those things because he worked for it? No, he got it.
Stolen wealth.
He got it at the expense of ordinary Liberians. At the expense of ordinary Liberians. And there are a lot more of them. We just talked about the many of them in the legislature. Buffer Chimos live on GSA Road the other day when that community was in pitch black dark. His house is right there. High fence. High fence. Man, generator beating. But the rest of the community in dark. Then he got security man and money him too. So Zogos can get to him. So what happens? The Zogo go to the poor people who stay living on a dollar a day.
Yeah, and steal their cell phones.
I tell you the story. The old man living in her Zing house. Zogo then were on the rampage that night.
Hmm.
So while they were going around, the old man heard another. The old man said, row, 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 row. The Zogo guy took the collar, he rubbed it against the Zinger. He said, you thought something will come inside there for you. Ain't know how you rub the collar against the Zinger. Man, rub the collar.
Sit up one more time.
Okay, we going for iron bar.
You all not do it. Just bring it down.
Oman said, your sorrow, my children. Your boy, your So I'm saying these things to tell you that
Jesus.
people have done nothing for this country. They're comfortable. They're comfortable in this so-called wealth they have amassed. They're so comfortable and they think that it's perpetual. And how do they make it perpetual? They create smaller institutions around them to make them look relevant. Prince Johnson has a church. He stands on the pulpit. He has a university. Thomas Fowler has a university. Sir Joseph has his university. All these guys, they create these little smaller institutions so that they can appear to be humanitarians, so that it can appear that they're giving back to community, but they're not. They're only positioning themselves to be well off at the expense of the ordinary people. And as I said, the education that you and I have, we don't count these people. I don't even look. I don't even pay attention to them because I can feed myself. You can feed yourself. Alphonso can feed himself, but how many other people can? And so as a result, when these people come in their communities to identify with them during the election season, and what they bring is what they take.
That's it.
And it's just a pastime.
Mm-hmm.
So, gentlemen, in summary, folks, they have the differences and difference of opinions on whether the Royal Crime Code is necessary or not. I think the issue's wrong, and I'm making that declaration. You can support it, not. I think the War and Economic Crime Code is a must. I think asset recovery is a must. I think the audits of all of these institutions is a must. I think the return of rule of law in our country is a must. There's nothing here we can pretend tonight to talk about and say, oh, and the peace here, this peace. I already defined peace. We don't have peace.
No.
Liberia is not a peaceful country right now. I say emphatically, it's not a peaceful country. A country where there's no rule of law is not a peaceful country. A country where people just literally take the filth and dirt and throw in the streets and consume the cemetery with no respect and regard for the dead. It's not a peaceful country. A country where only few people enjoy electricity and water is not a peaceful country. A country where people can take $25 million and put it in their pockets with no hair, no tail, and they say the mop up exercise. A country where $16 billion can get missing and nobody knows what happened to it. A country where a president is leaving power, he lied about what he left and what the other man inherited. No hair, no tail.
This is not a peaceful country.
A country where they literally loot the very ministries they work in and took all the resources out of.
It's not a peaceful country.
People who are going in don't have anything to start with. It's not a peaceful country. A country where our police uniforms is faded gray instead of navy blue.
It's not a peaceful country.
Walking with slippers in the street. A country where there's only one or two fire trucks with no tires under it. and houses are burning daily. And now they're having a new what we call societal education to tell people, say, you know what, don't be locking your door with a key, just put a hook there, like anything you can hold a hook quick and come outside. It's not a peaceful
It's
country
not a peaceful country.
where people must barricade themselves
Can you
and not
imagine?
call that a peaceful country. Is not a peaceful country.
It's
A
not.
country where Nigerians have infiltrated with drugs under the disguise of selling cheap building car parts and stuff. But
Yeah.
behind the scene, it is a drug syndicate killing our young people. These guys are coming and just bringing the drugs by the drove under a CDC government that accepted this. It's not a peaceful country.
It's not.
A country where a Lebanese man can come and just make his own price and sell any kind of way the Indian man can do whatever. They say, oh yeah, where you give monopoly to a SETI brother to take our what we call scrap material and make steel locally and sell it to us for $20. And the steel is not even quality steel. It's not a peaceful
It's
country.
not.
A country where you say George Haddad to be the only man to bring rest in the country, and everybody else should not bring rest. Only one man, only because he giving you your cut. It's not a peaceful country. A country where the government builds market building. The people leave the market building and bring the market to the street and sell.
It's not a peaceful country, Volcano.
a peaceful country.
It's not a peaceful country.
Let's deal with these people tonight when they're talking about peaceful country.
Volcano, your message, you just created a new segment to know.
No, but actually, it's not a peaceful country.
Sagi McCarthy said you created, we now have a new segment called It's Not a Peaceful Country.
Peaceful country.
Absolutely.
A country where an airplane flying in the night, no electricity on the runway, they got to literally take cars to clean up the runway for the plane to land because the later over and over. You call that a peaceful country?
It's not a peaceful country, my man.
Where people fighting for 10-year position, you know,
It's
you
not
can't
a
do the
peaceful country.
job. You gotta give you the job now. They won't take it from you. They say go to Supreme Court.
Yeah.
I can tell you, it's not a peaceful country.
It's not a peaceful country.
The country where people literally saying, but when we give our party to y'all and y'all ain't won't give our job.
Yeah.
Is that a peaceful country?
It's not a peaceful country, my brother. You know,
All the young people that motorbike riders, you,
Yeah.
I mean, you
It's
see
not a
the
peaceful country.
children in this country. I'm here, I can see it all day. Those children that bumper bees, they just zooming all over the place.
it's
But-
not a peaceful country.
Why more than 1 million youth not in school? They're just riding motorbike, and you say
Not
you
a
in
peaceful
peace?
country. No,
You call this a peaceful country?
no, it's not a peaceful
That is a
country.
peaceful country. A
It's not.
country when you see what they call it, Broad Street right now. Broad Street is in darkness. That beautiful Broad Street, our capital Monrovia, is in darkness, and you call it a peaceful country?
It's not.
Let me stop that small so you can tell me where you know.
And Volcano, a country where you have to go to bed by 5 o'clock in the evening because the Zogos are coming. It's not a peaceful country.
Listen, is that a peaceful country? Let me stop taking some here. The guy said, Othello Dillon said, a country where the president chew more than what he can swallow.
It's
Not a peaceful country. Othello. Yeah. You know, it's not a
That's,
peaceful country.
It's not a peaceful
A
country.
country that just got $41 million approved for the budget in February, but civil servants still got paid since January. It's not a peaceful country. Well,
Absolutely.
you're right. They're working on it. They're working on it. They're working on it. They said 2
Not a
months,
peaceful country. Yeah.
2 months in the pipe. You know,
You know.
first of all, the payroll, they got to make sure the payroll makes sense, and they got to clean it up a little bit. You know,
Yeah, because the payroll is bloated, so they got to take out all the other ghost
For the
names.
$1 million cannot make payroll in our country and run the government. It's can't. It's not.
That's why we say it's not a peaceful country.
but let's come back to it. 2 airlines flying in the country internationally. You got Brussels and you got Air Morocco. You call it a peaceful country?
No, It's
Only
not
two
a peaceful
airlines.
country.
You got the other one, and they'll stop places, then they just put people on the other short plane, and something, then they bring it. Eh?
Yeah, a country where you have homes covered by fences that are so high to the point that you can't even see the roof of the homes. It's not a peaceful country.
But here's another one.
Mhm.
A country where all its foreign embassies across the world, they can hardly pay their bills. The staff are not getting paid. The foreign missions, they can barely
Foreign
pay the.
missions?
What's it? You arguing that you
Wow.
sleeping? You don't
Oh
know the.
yes. Oh yes.
You don't know
Yeah, a
the,
country. Yeah, a country that doesn't pay its foreign or mission staff. Yeah,
they pay their
yeah,
bills.
yeah. Pay their
Peaceful
bills. Yeah, it's not. It's not a peaceful country. Yeah.
A
Mhm.
country, Gwen John Smith said, a country where two generations of the best minds were born in the diaspora. It's not a
Yeah.
peaceful country
Of course,
because
it's not a
you know
peaceful country.
our kids don't even know Liberia.
No, they don't. They don't. A country where, as we say in Liberian parlance, that you have to literally bear G or grumble before you get your paycheck. It's not a peaceful country.
It's not a peaceful country where nurses got to protest, students got to protest for the teachers. Teachers got to protest. Everywhere protest. It's not a
It's
peaceful
not a
country.
peaceful country.
Every day protest.
Yeah. So, oh, my man, we're going to that ministry today. We're spotting. And then one pay, oh, we're spotting over there today.
Yeah.
It's not a peaceful country.
It's a peaceful country when the legislative staff demanded that there would be no or what they call it
Or say
election.
what? Confirmation hearing.
No, not confirmation here. Elections in the house for speaker.
Oh,
Everyone,
yeah, speaker. Yeah, speaker. There will be
yeah,
no election speaker and no confirmation hearing for Musa Day and this guy, Wolo Koli.
you call that a
It's not a
peaceful country.
peaceful country.
Montreal Kringa say a country where women are raped, with no accountability. You call that a
Yeah.
peaceful country?
Mhm.
Eh? They every day our peace. What peace? Gwen John Smith, a country where the president riding cargo plane to go abroad. Is that a peaceful
It's not a peaceful country.
and Shaggy McCaffrey, a country where you can cut your grass at your embassy. That's not a peaceful country.
A
So,
country where
so
a
that
country where a country where they appoint you as minister, you don't even have a bicycle.
yeah,
So with the cars, I think what happened is as those guys were leaving, they took those vehicles, they changed the
Yeah.
name, they repainted them,
Look,
and went
George, we are
the other side.
his criminals.
Yeah.
but yeah was interesting to
Yeah.
know if this country was peaceful. You think these guys are brave to take government and
No,
institutional
it would
resources?
not. It would not have
Like,
happened.
a peaceful country, you think they're
No.
brave to take what don't belong to them? You came to the government job, you leave
And
with
you
nothing.
living and you steal the people,
Take
cars, you steal all the equipment and carry it.
of his supply.
Yeah.
You think that's a peaceful country here?
No,
But
that's
if
not.
this country was peaceful, you think AFL gathering and buffering then we're gonna go
Come
say the
again in the street. No.
mother in the street the other day and demanding that the defense minister resign? You
The
got that?
Mazan, yeah. That's not fair.
Got that
You
peaceful
know.
country?
So we
But
just
kind of
sitting on the
A
somebody
country
posted and said, as you're in the country, you're gonna try to go to that place where they beat that old lady. Somebody
yeah,
posted in the
I will try to
I,
look.
I saw that video last night. Yeah, it comes back to the same thing we're talking about peace. They said a group of people saw this lady and they just attacked her violently. She was accused of witchcraft. I mean, what kind of society is this? Volcano?
no rule of law.
That somebody will just call you rogue, my man, or just put something on you, my man.
I'm hearing she's in
Mob
here.
justice, my man.
She's in here. Yeah, there be a hospital.
Yeah. That woman was severely beaten.
But listen to this. Shaggy McCaffrey, a country where warlords are in the House of Parliament. You call that a peaceful country?
It's not a peaceful country. What you expect the water to do? To talk for you? Man going to make laws that will protect him.
But Moses, what type of country is this? So we'll just switch now. So we
Yeah,
got
what type of country is this?
5 minutes from here. What
Mhm.
type of country is this? Hmm.
Yeah. What
That
type of country is this that when you work, you can get paid?
what type of country is this? Where when you enter the country, the people already ready to get in your pocket
Wow.
from the airport, oh,
From the airport.
the inside your pocket.
Everybody grabbing their own, my man.
Is that a peaceful country?
No. What type of country is this?
Eh?
What
What
kind
type
of
of country
country?
is this that you can't get
It's not a
services
peaceful
without
country.
bribing people? What type of country is this?
Yep.
And Shaki, you're right. This can be a new segment. It's not a
Mhm.
peaceful country
It's not.
because we keep hearing people bragging about, oh, you're not spoil our peace. Oh, this is not peace.
It's not peace.
This is not peace.
It's
This
not
is not
peace.
peace.
You can't be stepping on somebody's neck because the person not crying. Then you say, "Oh, there's peace." No, it's not peace.
And it is almost like having a woman in an abusive relationship where she suppresses her feeling only because she doesn't want to, leave and they say, oh, now she divorced. She said, I will just be here. That's not a, happy marriage.
What type
It's
of
the same
country
old
is
thing with
this?
Liberia.
What type of country is this? In as much as we don't have anything, but yet the people trying to build little roads and put little sidewalks, but the marketeers can go in the market, my man. The people literally look. If you see here there is junction now, the banker parking.
Wow.
Here there is junction. Just because they're building this road now, a pure banker parking.
So then what happened to all the market buildings, man? They refuse to go there?
My brother, I don't know what the people don't want to go in these marketplaces. They say the market is way inside. The people will not go there.
But if I
But
want to buy something, don't you think
what's
I will go to find wherever
what's
the food items are sold at?
you and I live in America, right?
Yeah. We drive to go to the mall.
That's what I'm saying. There's no market in front of my house. I gotta get in my car and drive. So I come all the way to your side. When I want to pay
Yeah.
some price or something, I go all the way to Delaware to fish
Yeah.
the other mall or the Concord Mall or Concord Pike and
Yeah.
purchase or go to King of Prussia,
And
So
buy
we
what you want.
go, yeah. But this country, what type of country is this that the people cannot go into the market? They bring the market to you. What
Wow.
type of country is this? I'm
It
telling
seems
you.
lawlessness, my man.
It's convenience. They
Lawlessness.
bring the market to you, so you don't have to go. It's convenient.
Hmm. Because
Convenience,
no one is in control of anything.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. Seven unrecognized employees on the supplemental payroll at the Ministry of State.
700
What?
unrecognized employees.
On supplemental payroll. That job we are.
U.S. government officials are millionaires while the citizen lives in abject poverty. Huh? A country where the government officials are millionaires while the citizen lives in abject poverty. It's not
Yeah.
a peaceful
It's not a
country.
peaceful country. That's true. Your mantra.
Let's stop saying peaceful country thing here. Let's stop it.
Not a peaceful country.
What type of country is this? We say we are in peace, but just name a whole lot of things that say it is not a peaceful country.
Peaceful country, Shaggy. That's
That's
good, Shaggy. Yeah. Uh-huh. I mean, what type of
oh,
country is this
let me
when you
add
are
this
in
other one.
crisis?
Let me
Eh?
add this. Let me add this other one.
Mm-hmm.
You call this a peaceful country when you sell your passport to foreigners? Ever seen a peaceful country sells its passport to foreigners? That's a serious one. You
Yeah.
sell
It's
your
a
country.
serious problem. It's not a peaceful country.
Hmm? What peaceful
How much?
country sells passports to foreigners?
No,
Tell me what you say. You, if
that's
we
a
need to buy,
lawless country.
if we need to buy something here, we drive to the store. You can't be passing under my window early in the morning.
Buy a buy a market, yeah. So buy
Okay, you imagine, my man, you sleeping, somebody will just wake you up.
Talk right the money, buy your market, everything here.
And they said they use megaphone, man, Volcano.
why you smart so that where I was going. So this time, listen, this time when the current go, you can hear that thing talking, but soon as the
Yeah.
current go, buy a Lone Star Mini, buy a Lone Star Mini, buy a Lone Star Mini, buy a Lone Star Mini. Whole day, my man, the manager put it. They want why they want buy Lone Star Mini, other one buy your orange mini, send your mobile money. But man, the
Yeah,
thing just all over the peaceful country. Is that a peaceful country where megaphones are all over the place? 5 o'clock in the morning, the men are going around without thing just making noise. People can't sleep. But you call this a peaceful country when you can put church and nightclub right to a man's window?
Mhm.
that's very chaotic.
And then the man, the church having crusade, parade, what do you call it? Yeah, not
Yeah,
crusade, what?
tariff.
Tirade.
Tyrant.
The church having tirade all
You
night.
can't
The
sleep.
nightclub, you call
You
this a
can't
They
peaceful
sleep.
beating the drum under your window, eh?
country?
The woman was the weeks who was I think under Ellen, she was sent to public works.
Yeah.
She sued one church. The church there and there were just playing drums. She said she can't sleep.
I see what I'm telling you. Is this peace? People can sleep at night. You got nightclub everywhere. People playing loud music
The
everywhere. A drinking spot.
mother,
Yeah.
the
Drink.
mother church to court, my man.
You know,
Go to the
one of my
church.
men said he did the same thing. Oh. He said for he took a nightclub owner to court, because he said he built a house he built his house in a real quiet area. And this guy went and put us on a Zen shot. They took the speakers and put it on top of the roof. The man said, for him to sleep. The guy people playing loud music all night. The man went to the people. He said he went to them. He said, "Hey, my people, how are we going to sleep?" He said, "Oh, man, we're doing our business." Oh, the man had to go to court.
Oh God, look.
Yeah.
How you treat people like that, my man?
Yeah. If I will leave here at 9:15, 6 more minutes. I know
Okay.
you go run down. 9:15. So what type of country is this? Yeah. So what type of country is this that you just
Yeah,
all over the place making noise? Because peace is quietude.
of course.
Am I right? And
Yes.
gentlemen,
Yeah,
peace
you
is
are. Peace is
because God
quiet
sending
too.
peace.
Yeah.
My man, I
I
said
can go to bed in peace, my man.
5 o'clock in the morning. 5 o'clock in the morning, Moses. The people all over the place.
I said, I,
Buy a
I
this
was
thing.
talking. I said, as you're right, forget. I was talking to one of my beginners. I just hear a noise. I said, my man, why are you in the nightclub? He said, no. I almost the people telling that the job we are legacy, that legacy job we are legacy.
You see, our come on. The lawlessness,
You see what Thomas and what you say you gotta where you can get your good night's sleep. Where the zero. What type
Oh
of country
God.
is this? Listen, what type of country is this for you to have a good night's sleep? You gotta go way in the zero before
Ah,
you
wait a minute. Oh God.
You gotta you gotta go. If you want to sleep well, you gotta go up to Vonjava.
no, no. Hey, you can't go to Fonjama.
No,
Fonjama
Papa,
is set
Vanjama, I said to
You got you gotta go to Kolao, in one of those villages around there.
you gotta go to town in the forest. And
They say cold water, oh, buy a cold water.
Man, you want to do Volcano? Yeah,
them no
y'all
city.
want to do y'all want to do memory lane? Y'all want to do memory lane or that or no?
I put it up on the phone to my
My brother, yeah, cold water, yeah, oh, buy a cold water.
Oh
oh,
God.
man, I tell you. Uh,
Then you say,
whatever
peace,
country,
where's the peace?
when the country
I
send
can't
it
get
up,
regular sleep. Oh,
graduate,
they me under my window, yeah, they say, Batman, cold water,
Say
water.
back under your window, man.
oh God, we-
Jesus.
Hmm.
listen, Queen just made say for you to get a good sleep, you need at least 5 good acres of land so you can have good sleep. But Gwen, if you have the 5 acre, you still gotta put it in fence. So how you do that?
Yeah, everybody fair no God,
Well,
no God.
and you probably have to soundproof it too because now they're using the megaphone, so it will still reach you.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
buy a buy a scratch car.
That are about scratch card, Moses. They say Lone Star.
Yeah, no, that's scratch card. Buy a
Yeah.
scratch card.
Oh my, oh, that scratch card.
Yeah.
Then they're going around. Valuable, 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 valuable.
Oh
So
God.
which one they call valuable together?
Valuable, man, I say you got the best goose. He's selling value. It means that
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, valuable, valuable in the town.
there you go.
oh,
I'll
and the
put
value, the microphone stand that crash over there, they call it value too. They just, they just bring all kind of fake things and lie to people.
what you say. Buy a cold sausages, yeah. You know they'll cut the sausage small and put a toothpick on it and you get on it. Then you buy
Man.
one. You can buy one little sausage on the toothpick. Just a
Yeah.
little. You buy it for $10. You can find $10
So how
there.
many of those how many of those somebody will say a whole day before the person may find out US?
That is the problem, though. That
You gotta
that's
say,
selling it, doing. They
you
can't even make nothing.
gotta care who. If I
They
said the
buy
person
a sausage, yo.
the person that's selling will eat half before they eat it. Oh God.
Yes,
But
sir.
buy
Jesus.
your co buy your co-hepatitis.
Can you imagine? You even know how the people prepare the sausage or that when you come and take inside, you think
Help making me cry. Oh God. I mean,
it's
try.
cold
I mean, what
water, yeah, oh, cold water, yeah.
we get all of it here, man. They didn't
And
know that
then
we
go
get.
get you water, man. Drink the water, you get diarrhea right away.
Oh God.
Well,
I
when I
mean,
water, so I drink, man. I just using the restroom all night.
I think we're getting already thing now. They think I'm looking at it. I mean, 50 years, 4 years we're looking at, gentlemen. 50 years fight.
Yeah,
We're not doing anything general. 50 years
Yeah.
fight.
You know, the thing we're talking about is laughable, but George, we are rather reverse the trend of happiness in our country, my man.
now the same war crime thing that put her in that mess. Ellen Sally didn't want to be held accountable for war crime, so she put Joe on our head and he took the country 100 years back.
Yeah. They met to the they met put the car, I mean the country in reverse, my man.
What type of country? But listen, what type of country is there? People are selling live dogs and chickies on the street. Eh?
Really? Really to do
Lord
that?
Jesus.
Let's go to something positive here. Let's do the memory lane before we close.
Yeah.
Man, man is listening, I'm sure, and the rest of the
Yeah,
folks
that
also
promote man, so we can get it. Yeah.
I also look forward to Memory Lane. So Memory Lane by Dr. Manin Sumo, and this one is captioned Broken Hopes, Broken Education, Broken Nation. It was in 1862, exactly 162 years ago, when the first higher learning institution opened its doors in Liberia called Liberia College. But let's go down memory lane. In 1851, the government of Liberia authorized the establishment of a higher education institution. In 1858, initial financing for Liberia College was given by the New York Colonization Society and the trustees of Donation for Education in Liberia. Their donations laid the cornerstone and financed the first building of Liberia College known today as the University of Liberia, or UL. In 1862, after serving as the first president of Liberia, Joseph Jenkins Roberts became the first president of Liberia College and served as such until 1876. That was 14 years of his remaining life. You'll know that this was a great man and father of Liberia who also served for 15 years as a major general in the Liberian frontier force, as well as a diplomatic representative of Liberia to France and Great Britain. What a great example of a servant leader Liberia once had. Bravo, bravo, bravo to Joseph Jenkins Roberts. My questions are, what happened to the good examples of Joseph Jenkins Roberts? Where are the hopes once built for a great nation, Liberia? When Joseph Jenkins Roberts became the president of Liberia College in 1862, his first enrollment was 7 students. Where are the 7 students' legacy today? Do we even know them by name? In 1851, Liberia College was elevated to a university status, and Dr. James Maximilian Bond, an American man, became its first president. This development makes me to wonder, you mean after 100 years, 1851 to 1951, a building of a college with several alumni, an American became its first president in 1951? That is very sad. After all, the graduates in 100 years, an American president? So how are you feeling, Joseph Jenkins Roberts? I can see how you roll in your grave, but rest in peace, sir. What was President William V. S. Tubman thinking about when he brought in an American to head the University of Liberia as its first president? Sad, so sad indeed. From the enrollment of the 7 students in 1862 to over 18,000 students enrollment today, but with a sad academic output. Students of modern day University of Liberia are an embarrassment to academic integrity. The college you so labored for at your last breath has become a militia ground enlisted with militants under the disguise as students. What a hope so broken. As we hope to invite a war crime court, I hope to see those who are responsible for the loss of academic integrity at the University of Liberia be on trial too, because it is their actions that made the warlords, they that took national politics on the UL campus and provoked the coup makers of 1980, come on trial. What a nation so broken. I wish to see on trial those who brainwashed our college students to ignore the studies but got involved into national politics that led to injuries, deaths, property damages to the college closures and other situations. They must come to justice. Yes, I want to see a trial those who took national politics from their respective parties, headquarters, and instituted on students, letting the university backwards come to trial. Yes, I want to see those politicians who have used students to accomplish their selfish aims and sins, thus dumping them as soon as they reach their goals. They must also come to trial. After 162 years of academic existence, the UL is the least in West Africa and the world at large. Yet we stand to ignore the truth about it. I have been sad, lately so sad, when I searched the handbook of the University of Liberia. There I could not find any portion that gave politicians or students the right or privilege to engage in international politics on the UL campuses. I mean, national politics. I challenge anyone to prove me wrong. Take national politics off UL campuses. This is not fair to the other students who get punished along with you who wear military uniforms to protest, and when the school is closed or when the beating comes, the innocent suffers the worst. Get national politics off UL campuses. Those colonial or neo-colonial days are gone. Go to UL and learn book. Become an engineer or a doctor, a lawyer, or make Joseph Jenkins Roberts happy. Make Liberia happy. Make me, Augustine Manen Sumo, happy. Remember, Joseph Jenkins Roberts worked as president of today's UL till his last breath when he died in February of 1876. Go to a school and not to a militia base. No national politics on UL campuses anymore. A coming peace. This is something written here by Mani Sumo, reminding us of what damage politics has done at the National University, the University of Liberia, and what good has come out of it. Because the people who go there as militias, they cause trouble, then everybody else suffers when the university closed down. So I think he's just making a point here. But again, Alphonso just wrote, UL students are human beings, are mostly adults, and are impacted by the policies and actions of politicians. Consequently, they have a right to engage in national politics. All right. So, man, Buck Wentz there, reading like he's back on the radio back in the day. All right. So what type of country is this? Now coaching JMB how to run his government. Now the old Wakanda, baby.
Well, Bakala baby caused small problem in the town. You heard Yage yesterday?
Oh, no, but you know the Oma were in church on Sunday. Mount
Oh, yeah.
Laura, Laura, she killed the Ever Baptist Church.
Oh,
The brother,
Yage went big time, my man. He said he waiting one more time to hear her talk.
oh, but the Oma tour. I can play Oma
Yes,
right
yes,
now.
Oman a celebrity now. She on
Oh, yeah,
TikTok
Yage
everything.
mad. That why the president
Get
had to meet
mad.
with the older.
Yeah,
So he's
exactly.
really
That's full
angry.
question.
He said some terrible things that I won't say on this show. No. Yage Koluba is sick. Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Listen, man. Y'all, thank you so much for joining us. We apologize for the few sessions that we were not able to be here. It was my relocation to Liberia, trying to get situated for us to come back live. Let's hope we'll be here Friday again. We'd like to thank all of you who showed up here tonight. It was a good company. We got now a new Peace Corps. It's not a peaceful country.
Yeah.
We'll reflect on some of the reasons why we say it's not a peaceful country because
No.
countries is. But again, Adiaha Umbo, thank you for joining us here. Key Gwen Jones Smith, it's a pleasure having you. Emmanuel Jackson, Nora Hooks, come back again. Jarvis Best Man, good to see you. Byron Brown, it was good to see you too here in the house. Ahmad Freeman, we say thank you for joining us here tonight. Thomas Awaji, of course. Comfort Abu, bottle fufu and soup. Food is ready. Oh yeah, that's part of the noise they can be making. Shaggy McCaffrey. Albert Cooper. Good to see you here in the house tonight. with us here. Let me try to catch up on some other folks who showed up here tonight. Uh, the Montreal Crane guy. Yes, thank you, my brother, for joining us here. Uh, in fact, it's a female. I always get it wrong. Thank you for joining us here tonight. Marcus Matadi. It's been a while, my brother. It's good seeing you here with us tonight too. Come back again. Raymond Clark. Uh, you know, Bennett O'Connor. Othello Dillon. Good to see you. Thank you so much. We appreciate your viewership. We'll be back here Friday. Come back, share the word. Victor Logan, of course, my brother. Good to see you. Always showing up and helping us to share the word. We say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. KW Cole from Texas. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us there. Dr. Telfo Ammons, our man. He was on the show tonight. Good to see you. My man, I hope you're preparing for 2029. Jonathan Jebo Sakor Sr. Was good seeing you. Romeo Brisbane. Thank you. Thank you for joining us here. E. Solomon D. Dwe. Steam Bunge. Good to see you, sweetheart. Hope everything is going well. Kimon Joe Cully. Thank you for joining us here tonight. DC TV Buchanan in the DC era. Diagwe Zulu. Thank you. Mohammed Kumar. It's good seeing you. S. Edward Nifo. Tyrone Marshall. Cyrus Joel McGee, rather. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for coming. Tony Brooks, it was good seeing you too as well. Sam Bundle, watching from Stephen Tauber Estate. Thank you for staying up with us tonight. Everyone who made it here tonight, we say thank you, Rivers Pro, and the rest of you guys. Alphonso says, what I think here, what's the time now? It's about what, 1:30? Am I in? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Right?
Yes.
So,
No, thank you, Volcano, for making it
gotta be
possible
up
for
early
doing the
to
show.
go to
It's
go to
one
the
o'clock,
cemetery.
1:30. Absolutely. So I think thank you guys. Good night. Yeah.
Thank you, Volcano. I know we kept you up so late, but
You still
that's a
talking about
sacrifice,
I gotta go.
we make for what type of country is this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was indeed a pleasure,
Let me
teaming up to,
let me just
uh,
recognize Diamond Jacobs too, who showed up here tonight to
yeah,
join us here on the show, and everyone who hung up with us.
yeah,
Some of the folks don't say they don't want to be identified. They don't want to throw their name out there, but they are the silent viewers in the background. And we say thank you to all of you. Continue
sure.
to
Mhm.
to, to
Thank
love
you.
us, like us, and follow us. We'll be back here Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 p.m. in Liberia, here in Monrovia.
Thank
Again,
you.
good night.
All right. All right, sir.